Welcome to the Full Noise podcast. We're back, and right now we're with the one and only Reaper. Welcome to the podcast.
What's good? My name's REAPER.
So good to have you back in New Zealand.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Yeah.
I love everyone here. Especially, seriously, I love you guys, and y'all kind of adopted me last time I toured here, which was very meaningful to me.
Yeah, likewise. We had so much fun. Genuinely, the last time, because my girlfriend Brookie and I both got to play support for you, which was so much fun. Like, I genuinely still talk about that show as like one of my favorite shows I've probably ever played. To be fair, like, we were buzzing just for you to be here.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was actually one of the first shows where fans were like reaching out over the decks to like take photos of my IDs and things like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and also I was worried they were maybe like fumbling with the knobs or something on the CDJs, but they were just interested in what song I was playing.
Yeah, Hyde is home for us and absolute chaos sometimes, but it's a lot of fun. We love it.
Yeah, same.
I've actually been waiting to just crack this open, to be fair. I just thought it would probably make cool little, you can get that nice crispy sound when you actually open it. Yeah, there you go.
Love
it is. Cheers, by the way.
I got my straw.
For listeners, obviously, we're drinking a Powers margarita. Drinking it through the mask as well was great.
That's how you have to do it.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Now, I've also seen on your socials, you've got this lucky duck that you've been sort of carrying around with you. Is there a bit of a story around that, potentially?
So my tour manager and I, we went to Dave & Buster's. It's the arcade.
Uh-huh.
And we won the duck out of a claw machine. And it was just for fun. It was going to be a silly little mascot for our trip. And then as soon as we took off to Sydney about 2.5 weeks ago, we both got food poisoning. Mm-hmm. And so we were either like, we were hunched over the toilet for like the first 2 days. Oh, no. So we named the duck Papa Squat because you got to get down on the floor. And since then, it's kind of stuck with us as both like an emotional memorial for what we went through together at the same exact time. And also the fans fell in love with it. Yeah, in Perth and Adelaide and Brisbane, we had like fans making little trinkets for the duck. Yeah, we even have a pair of CDJs, like an actual CDJ setup made for the duck.
That's cool.
Cowboy hats, we got necklaces for it and everything, yeah.
That's so cool. I'm taking it right back to the start of that story. Dave & Buster's, I feel like, did they do a drum and bass gig or something there once upon a time?
Yeah, because they are DNB.
Yeah.
And Brownies and Lemonade threw, I guess, maybe like 3 or 4 different drum and bass parties there now.
That's cool.
And I'm not sure exactly how they operate the whole entire thing. I think they moved some of the arcade machines out of the way and put up a stage.
Oh my God.
But people love it. It's actually perfect. I think it's maybe around like a 900 capacity, 800 capacity.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I wish we had something like that here in New Zealand with like an arcade, because we have a lot of arcades and I do feel like it would go kind of hard.
Do you like arcade games at all?
Yeah, it's kind of like gambling for kids is the way I see it. It's a lot of money lost, but it's fun,
I like it just because it's so fun and
Yeah.
silly. Like, there's a lot of games that I like, and I feel like if I'm at a bar or bowling alley or anywhere like that, you're gonna catch me in the corner playing some random arcade game.
Yeah. There's me worrying about the cost of living crisis. So obviously it's been a huge few years since we last caught up, and I wrote down here, this year alone looks like it's been full noise. See what I did there? But of course, Challenger album dropped, and you're kind of going through it at the time, right? With the whole hip surgery and everything. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Dude, so thankfully the hip surgery went incredibly well. That was done about 7.5 months ago now, and my recovery was almost immediate. I went back on tour in February, only about 8 weeks after my surgery, and no issues afterwards, but my whole entire last year was very, very difficult. Yeah, like, I didn't know I was walking around on a broken leg, basically.
Jesus.
And so every doctor diagnosed me as having sciatica, so I'm just stumbling around thinking, I got to do more stretches. And then finally I went to the surgeon that told me, your stretching is making it so much worse because your bone is split into pieces.
Right.
Yeah. But I don't know, it gave me new perspective, and that's kind of what drove the Challenger album. I kind of rewrote a lot of the songs to just represent what I was going through. And now, I don't know, everything seems to be better. This is like, especially coming back to Australia, it feels like this like perfect light at the end of the tunnel, where this is a situation where you do want to go into the light. You know, it's the good light.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and in that time, like I was thinking, you know, the commitment to drum and bass is strong there. Clearly, through all that pain, you were still performing so many shows, which is crazy.
Yep.
What was I gonna say? It's completely gone. I'm going off on tangents. This is my problem.
How are your hips?
My hips are great. They don't lie or whatever. But that's horrific. But yeah, I'm glad that you're doing better. And to me, 8 weeks doesn't sound like a lot of time to be planning a tour or planning gigs straight after recovering.
Well, it actually is like the most advanced surgery, and for any joint replacement surgery, it is the most advanced surgery. And so recovery time is very quick, and also, I'm in pretty good shape for what it counts for. And I recovered. I was up walking out of the surgery, like already walking. So I was like ready to get back on the road. I was tired of being at home,
Yeah. But
Are you Bionic Reaper now?
Bionic Reaper?
The Terminator. The Reaper-nator.
He's the Reaper 2.0 or whatever now.
Yeah, exactly. I got a BIOS update.
Good. Now you've got this new collab with Pirapus, which has just dropped literally the day we're recording.
Out now, baby! Out now!
Get the promo in. How did that sort of link up come about?
So I've been in touch with them for a little bit, and then they reached out with their management, also eager about working together. And I happened to meet up with Ben in a studio in Texas.
Yep.
And this guy, so it's Ben and George and Parapus.
Yeah.
And Ben is an absolute legend on production. George is great too. George is a legend at marketing and production and everything. But I just sat with Ben in the studio for maybe 8 hours, and we made one of my favorite collabs that I've ever made right there.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And just this past weekend too, we got in with George, and George and Ben collaborated on this big promo idea that we're doing. And you're about to see it probably in the next 24 hours, 48 hours. But yeah, it's just us hanging out at their house with like the Beach Boys. Wouldn't it be nice if we... It's just like the whole entire time, like we forgot about collabing. And we're just running around on the beach, watching movies together, playing Call of Duty. Yeah.
Oh, hi. How good. You've built a great wee friendship out of the boys then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Love that. Because Ben, Tex as he's known here, I guess, because Texas, he's just insane when it comes to producing. Like, so many people talk about just how fast he's managed to gain the skills he's got.
It's crazy, yeah. Like, we started the project, my half of the project on my PC, and then he started just working on his, and he's like, just going all the way in.
Locked in.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, I'm going to send you all the stems right now, and I'm going to go get a coffee. And let's catch back up in 10 minutes.
Oh, that's so good. They're definitely on the rise, and we love to see it here in New Zealand as well. I feel like they deserve a lot more recognition. So on behalf of them, I guess, thanks for collabing with them and giving them that exposure.
Oh, yeah, not like they need it, but seriously, they got something really good going.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Now, what was the original idea behind the hiding your identity and the whole Reaper brand, I guess, originally?
I kind of fell in love with having like a brand attachment with both the mask and, now with the album, I wear the Challenger vest, which you've seen that.
Yep.
And I like having this association with a visual, not just being some other guy behind the DJ decks, having a visual where I can like almost market myself in every single show promo, every single photo that I take at the show. And then also the mask, when I first found it like 6 years ago, it's definitely, I don't know, kind of been relative to the music that I make, I guess. So a little bit guttural, a little bit intense, but there's some irony in that because I'm not that intense of a person. I'm kind of like, I'm kind of a goofball, but yeah, I fell in love with it pretty much straight away. And now me and the artists that made the mask, we're working on a couple different ideas for it too.
So that's custom made?
It's custom made. This is a one of one. I have like 6 different masks now. but he does have an online store where he makes a lot of different similar masks. And now I actually don't know how much I can say about it, but yeah, we're working on some new stuff. Yeah.
Cool. And is it difficult keeping your identity hidden, like when you're playing festivals and that sort of thing, and then maybe, I don't know how often you go out into the crowd and want to just like get involved in the mosh, but you know,
Yeah.
is it difficult?
It's not too difficult. It's mostly like a thing with backstage. If I set ground rules, where people usually respect those ground rules, and then if I'm going out into the crowd, mingling a little bit, I think, especially in the U.S., people recognize me now. We kind of talked about it earlier. They notice my build, or they notice something about me, and there's some people that. Honestly, they're fans that are very respectful, and they'll just be like, "Great set, man. That was a great set."
Just the little wink and nudge to be like, oh, that's good. But yeah, I mean, you're a unit of a man, I suppose. So I mean, you could probably work it out eventually. And is there times where it's kind of annoying as well? Like I imagine, like especially in the heat, like in the summer, some summer shows must be just a pain. Surely.
You just get very used to it. I mean, it's like training for any other like sporting event. Like. You get used to it. You get used to the heat. It's actually been great cardio for me. Like my resting heart rate is still like 41 BPM. And so it's actually like it's kept me in shape even when I've gained weight over the years. It's actually kept me in shape, being used to the heat and used to the transformative nature of constantly being on tour. And I honestly have never been too bothered by it, except for a few festivals where it's like blistering hot, so I get frozen water bottles from my tour manager, and I pour them down my neck right here. So it's like a little ice bath on stage, and then I get right back into it. Yeah.
Like I could imagine my girlfriend Brooke, who's just behind the camera here. I'm sure she'd probably be almost a little bit jealous of this because she spends a lot of time getting ready, even just for this, where she's not even on camera. She spent a lot of time getting ready for this, where you just have to chuck the mask on.
I spent hours for this.
Sorry.
Makeup with it.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about publicly revealing your identity though? Because some people do, I guess, go on to then just reveal it.
I think it's a possibility in the future, but it's also it's something that a lot of the fans have fallen in love with.
Yeah.
And it's not that there's any major reason to keep my identity hidden.
Yeah.
But I like that people have fallen in love with the association of the mask to the project.
Yeah.
And so it's probably going to stick around.
Yeah, exactly. It's it comes hand in hand with the brand. But I do like the thought of you being in an airport or like on a plane, like just imagining the thought that it's stuck to your face at all times, and you just randomly see this guy with this Reaper mask on.
That's actually, that's a horrific idea because I have tried to bring the mask in a carry-on bag on the plane, and I get a bunch of looks.
Oh, no.
Like I'm sitting in first class, and they see me unzip my bag with a beanie and a mask on, and they're like hitting their call button.
Yeah.
Being like, somebody help.
The start of a horror movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You'd end up in security immediately. Obviously, American drum and bass, super strong right now. I feel like we last time I saw you, it was certainly on the rise, and it just continues to keep going in that momentum. At the same time, I feel like it gets a lot of flack and it gets a little bit of hate. I guess people are just not too sure about it, and because it's so strong coming out of Europe and that sort of thing. What would you say to the people who are a little bit unsure about American drum and bass?
Well, for one, I would say for the past year and a half, without a doubt, drum and bass is very strong in America. It's always been around, and it's always been a hot topic, and also it's had like an audience with a foundation. But nowadays, a lot of younger kids are getting into it, which, there's a lot to love about that.
Yeah.
And in the UK, Belgium, Central Europe, I'd say everyone's starting to be more accepting, of drum and bass from the US. Whereas, my personal story of trying to play in the UK, it was actually hard for me to get a show for a while because I was an American artist. Even though, London was my top 2 city in Spotify streams. Yeah, exactly. But it's on the up and up. We have so many amazing artists coming out of America. Like, just to name some, for example, Kamarion, Justin Hawks, Rebel Scum, Bensley, Nick P. Like, that's just to name a couple of my close friends. but it's doing such an amazing thing in America by not really reshaping the fan base, but by introducing the whole fan base from the younger generation and the festival generation of those younger, like 18-year-old ticket buyers. They're coming into the market now, and they're falling in love with drum and bass. It's incredible.
Yep. I feel like, yeah, there's, sometimes I do love the drum and bass scene, obviously, because, you know, we're deep in it. But sometimes I feel like it's taken very seriously. And sometimes I'm just like, chill out a little bit. Like,
Yes,
it's not that deep.
And yeah, exactly. And that's where I was going to go with the last thing I said is, especially part of the Reaper brand is very anti-gatekeeping. You know, like the doors open, come on in.
Yeah.
We want to be your portal to drum and bass. And, you know, any of the ridicule that we might have received in the beginning of the Reaper project, now I feel like more and more is being accepted. And I have a lot to appreciate about that.
Yeah, totally. I mean, we all preach plur, peace, love, unity, respect as well.
Yeah.
So I feel like we should all stick to that when it comes to the scene, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love what's happening in America. I love seeing it blowing up, becoming far more mainstream, and you guys paving your own way, I guess, as well. So I don't think there's really bad things to be said about that. What has been the most memorable place for you to play in recent times? Because you've had some insane gigs like Tomorrowland and Rampage and just to name a few.
I definitely think Rampage was incredible. The past 2 years of Rampage Open Air were amazing. I played the Dome stage 2 years ago, and this year I played back-to-back with AC13. And it went so well. Like, me and him, we always joke about it. We share the same, like, single brain cell while we play on stage. And, like, nothing went wrong. It was just nonstop madness. And then we checked our phones for the time, and it was, like, 55 minutes into the set. And we're like, damn, we got to wrap this up a little bit.
That's how you know it's a good set, you know, you're
Yeah,
having a good time.
exactly. And I stayed for all 3 days of the last Rampage Open Air to do back-to-backs at the end for the Silent Disco, and that was also very memorable. Tomorrowland, too, going back to the hip thing. So last year, I didn't really have the capacity to, like, walk around festivals. You know, I couldn't just walk to every stage. And this year at Tomorrowland, I walked to every single stage on the day that I played. Yeah, I got to just enjoy it for myself, you know?
Yeah.
And I love that about it.
I mean, there'll be a lot of walking to do at Tomorrowland too, because it's just
There
huge.
is. And it's beautiful. It's very inviting, though, because, like, you walk from stage to stage and you're not thinking about, like, oh, man, that's the stage way over there. You know, like,
Yeah.
we're going to have to take, like, a pee break or something like that. No, you gun it. You go straight there. Yeah.
Yeah. I also see from a lot of socials, I haven't been there obviously, but Tomorrowland looks like it has a crazy like backstage area and they really look after you there.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
It is amazing. They fly in, like famous chefs or famous restaurants from around the world to cater. And, yeah, you get your own, like, access to everything.
That's crazy.
Yeah, my tour manager went through the food line probably 9 times. Yeah, like he disappeared for 2 hours, and I was just talking with friends, and I was worried maybe he went back out in the crowd without telling me, but he was actually just getting steak and shrimp over and over.
I love that. I'm shotgunning guest list next time then, and I'll just hang around at the food area or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, sounds like me. So what's one song that got you into? I'm going to do like some quick fire questions here, so
Yeah,
we'll just
go
go crazy on some stuff here. But what's one song that got you into drum and bass? If there's like a song you could think of that kicked it all off, started the passion.
Yeah, it's really actually hard to name anything that kicked it off immediately because I played a lot of video games that had like drum and bass and breaks in it. But a moment for me was back in like 2014 when I was listening to like the Upbeats, and I was also like the Upbeats, NOIZE. Also, I really got back into Pendulum again.
Yeah.
And so I think Tarantula was like a huge workout song for me and my manager.
Yeah.
So we'd go to the gym and just start blasting drum and bass. And we had the same like 20-song playlist that we play over and over and over and over.
You can't beat the good ones.
Yeah, and I was already making like very, very low quality drum and bass singles at that time that I never put out, ever.
Yeah.
But I remember it was after one of those workouts, I made a remix of this song from this random remix competition. And my manager like ran into the room, like grabbed the edge of the door, and he was like, "This is good. This is real good."
He made some gold.
Yeah.
It's actually I did say quick, fast pace. But the Tarantula, I just saw the other day they played Tarantula for the last time at like Reading and Leeds Festival in the UK. They said we're never playing this again. That's what? Why? It's a classic.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the meaning behind that was. Was
Yeah.
it Hornet that posted that? Do you know?
I'm not too sure. I feel like it was because it was Rob Swire on stage saying it. But yeah, I don't know. They hate it now. Or I don't know.
I don't
anyway.
know. I think Deadmau5 has said that about some of his songs
Yeah.
too.
Well,
And
he
then-
said a lot of things.
yeah, and then you just wait a couple years and maybe it'll come back.
What's the craziest thing you've seen at a gig while playing?
Craziest thing?
Apart from people trying to grab you and hide or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. What can I say on the podcast officially?
Anything.
You can pretty much say anything, as long as it doesn't get you cancelled.
Yeah, no, yeah. Actually, thankfully, the crowds at my shows have been very respectful. So, like, nothing too crazy besides what you'd seen at, like, maybe a crazy house party or something. I think there was this show in Calgary, in Canada, where someone fell during the first 10 minutes of my set in the mosh pit, and the dance floor was depressed, like, about a foot lower.
Jesus.
I think he hit his head because he wasn't coming off the ground. So I see him. I signal to everyone else. We check on him. I start playing like some chill, like Sigma, like Nobody to Love song.
Yeah.
The crowd settles down. He walks out. He gets medical treatment in an ambulance and then refuses to go to a hospital, and he walks back in.
He was that dedicated to seeing
yeah,
Reaper.
Yeah. Which we were all extremely concerned about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he kept like giving us a signal that everything was okay. But I was. Then
He's
the
just
next,
like, he's like, keep playing. Just
yeah, yeah. The next 10 minutes though, I just have anxiety. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh no,
naturally.
this guy, yeah.
Who would be your dream collab?
Ooh, dream collab.
That is a big question, to be fair.
Yeah, it changes too because I change style so much. But I don't know. I want to work more with bands. I've done a lot of like preemptive work with bands, just as far as like making audio samples for them or engineering for them. But like Pendulum would be, you know, one of the ones right there.
Absolutely.
I'm a big fan of El Hornet, which I just love his DJ taste, his DJ insight. I follow him on Twitch, so I watch all of his streams.
Yeah, and he also has a lot of, like, he kind of just talks a lot of sense, I feel like, in the scene when there's just silly stuff going on, like
Yeah.
how we were talking about a little bit just before.
Yeah, and he seems so well put together too, and he's like an encyclopedia of knowledge for someone like me that's new to the scene.
Yeah, exactly. And it's people like that we need in the scene to help educate and help people understand, I feel like. Have you managed to meet him in your on your travels?
So I've talked to him on the internet a bunch, and then I finally met him this past July.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
I was like, put a face to the name. Remember this.
Yeah, no, he's someone I'd love to get on the podcast as well because I feel like he'll just have so many stories and so much wisdom. FL or Ableton?
FL. Yep.
You don't dabble in both at all?
I do, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I do both.
I guess for collabs and things.
I can do FL, Ableton, Logic. I can do Pro Tools to track vocals. But FL it's my baby. I love it.
Yeah.
It's fun to work in, and I now have this like process and this workflow inside FL that works so well. Also, Ben from Parapus, he works in FL as well.
Yeah.
So we just linked on that. Yep.
Perfect. Sorted. Front left or in the mosh?
What is it?
Front row or in the mosh?
Ooh, back.
Oh,
of
what did I say? Sorry, I'm saying front.
the, yeah,
Sorry, mosh or back row is what I'm trying to say. One or the other.
back row.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, no, I would love to mosh, but for one, I'm a huge dude, and I feel like a little bit, I don't know, nervous.
Take some people out.
Yeah, I've been to some punk shows where I take
yeah,
people out, and the respect there is good. But for me now, especially with my tour schedule and my travel schedule, if I'm going to a show, I kind of just want to listen and dance in the back.
Yeah. Totally. And also an age thing, I feel like, as you get old. Not saying you're old, because,
Yeah.
you know, we're probably not that far apart, but as you get older, you move further back into the crowd, I feel like,
Yeah.
naturally.
It's nice too. Like you can hang out with your friends.
Yeah.
You can maybe even like talk to your friend like this. You know?
Not shouting.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And this is a funny one. Do you have a hot take on the drum and bass scene?
Hot take. I don't know if anything I could say would be a real hot take. I guess my hottest take is that American drum and bass is like fire. It's absolutely incredible.
No way he said that.
The clickbait on this gonna go crazy.
Cancel that guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I didn't know yet. You put this on like Reddit or something like this, and yeah.
Reaper thinks American drum and bass is good.
That is a hot take in some places.
Yeah, but to be fair, that is true. All right, there we go. Thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. And maybe one day we'll make it to your side of the world and we can do this again.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
But good luck. Good luck for Hyde tonight. You're gonna absolutely smash it. I can't wait to relive the last show.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go crazy tonight. Honestly, I'm gonna freestyle the whole set and just probably gonna mess up like 3 times. But
A few more margaritas and
oh yeah,
you'll be away.
oh yeah, let's do it.
Legend. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you. Give me a hug, brother.
Appreciate it.
Give me a
Till
hug.
next time.
Yep.
All right, there we go. Easy.
Boom.
Let's go.
Boom.